Will Banksy create a new mural?
I don't think England's going to win the World Cup. I think he's going to be pissed. He's going to be sober. He's going to be angry, and he's going to create. I bet it'll be his best work yet.
Okay.
Make it up.
There is an incredibly interesting market that we found on Will Banksy create a new mural by December 31st, 2026? I'm assuming you know, but in case you don't know, Banksy is a anonymous artist who pops up and kind of does murals all over the world unexpectedly. Now, it's recently been revealed a lot of people think he's a British guy in his 50s named Robbie Gunningham, but still technically anonymous. The last confirmed Banksy was April 2026 in London. So let me just ask you first and foremost how familiar you are with Banksy, the lore of Banksy, how much you keep up with whether or not he's been actively working.
I know a little bit about Banksy, but I'm not like overly familiar. He's not my favorite artist, but I'm familiar with him. I'm familiar with his story, and I'm familiar with the idea that he is this older British guy. So I think the market's really interesting. I want to hear what the market thinks because I have my own ideas, and I'm sure you have your own, but I want to hear what the market's thinking right now.
So the market actually has it at an 88% chance. So very high. The market is quite in favor of the prolific nature of Banksy, who apparently just needs to get this creativity out of his system. They feel very strongly that in the back half of the year, there will be a new Banksy mural popping up. But here's my take on Banksy. I will say this. For an artist who loves to be anonymous, he sure loves attention. Like, no matter where he goes, you know there's a Banksy. The same way that, like, no matter where the Kardashians go out to dinner, you miraculously find out. Is Banksy calling the paparazzi on himself when he does a new mural?
I could absolutely see that. A 50-year-old British guy. Oi, I can't do a Banksy, but I will say I like that take. Here's what I believe. So 88% is that he will. Right, he will create a new mural before. So, I think I think we should match whatever the likelihood is that that England wins the World Cup. Because if they win the World Cup, I don't see any world where this older British guy makes an art piece in the next year or two.
He'll just be so drunk celebrating the World Cup win for the next year.
100%. He's going to be singing. You know how they sing arm in arm? He's going to be doing that for a few years until the next World Cup, probably.
That's a strong take. Okay, I like merging the world of England's chance of the World Cup with Banksy's ability to create art. But again, we don't know. We don't know if he is actually a British guy. He is anonymous. What do you think is behind the anonymity? Like, is it like a Daft Punk thing? Where he likes the fame of his art being well received, but wants to be able to go out in public without people seeing his face? Or do you really think he is like a true artist in the sense of like his whole thing is against the commercialization of art and doesn't want his own face being valued?
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting question. I just feel about Banksy that it's not. I don't know how to say this without almost being insulting, but it's not like he's not doing like Picasso out there. I think it's pop art, not to be disparaging, because I think comedy is pop art just as a genre. Like, I'm not putting it down, but I don't think he's in love with the idea that no one would know who he is. I think if he really wanted to remain anonymous, he could do a Daft Punk thing, and it would probably be pretty hard to trace who it is. I don't see how you would put that together.
I'm with you. Like, I'm not huge on Banksy. I've never been blown away by his pieces, but he has done two cool stunts that I approved of. One of which was, I don't know if you saw, there was a Banksy artwork that sold for $25 million at a Sotheby's auction, and he installed a secret paper shredder in it. So the minute it went on sale, the art just shredded. Like, can you imagine spending $25 million on art that literally shreds the minute the auction goes through? That's a pretty awesome middle finger at the art community from like a commercialization standpoint. But also, you know, whoever bought that for $25 million ultimately kept the shreddings and now like has it in a mantle somewhere as the piece that Banksy shred. And knowing art, it's probably worth $50 million now. Like, that's just how these things.
It's actually a
And
good
then
point. I bet shredding it immediately tripled its value. I bet the return on investment was crazy, like overnight. It's the opposite of driving a car off a lot, where like you drive it, it's half
yes.
its value. I bet the second it shredded, it now went maybe even like 10x. Because that's one of the most famous art pieces of all time now.
Right, and now the way art always imitates art, where like there's some other pop artist trying to earn his clout on the street, and now it's like, watch, I'm gonna take a shit on this as soon as I'm done. It's gonna go 10x. It's they're just trying to level up how you can deface the art that you created. The other Banksy stunt that he pulled that I really enjoyed though is he did do one art piece. He did a mural on the side of a building in I believe East New York, which is like a side of town that most people and certainly white people do not go to. It's very historically been the Black Hood. And he put it on this building. And then there was video of like these young black teenagers who were just charging all these rich white people from Manhattan $20 or $50 to come and see the Banksy. So I like the side hustle he at least gave the teenagers of East New York. I thought that was cool. But other than that, I'm over the whole Banksy anonymous thing. But you did say something that I want to circle back to because you were saying that you think stand-up is like pop art. And I just kind of want to talk about the value of art in general because the only other bet that exists right now on the predictions market with respect to art is will another piece of art sell for $150 million by December 31st? So it's either will Banksy create something or will there be a piece of art that sells for $150 million by December 31st? And it's just kind of like, who gets to decide the value of art? Because stand up, we are artists, but stand up has always sort of been the redheaded stepchild of the arts world. And even in stand up comedy, we both know horrible comics that are multi millionaires and incredible comics that live in abject poverty. So, like, who gets to decide the value of art in general?
It's a really interesting question because it's the market for this is so small. Sorry, the market for the actual art piece that sells for 150 million is probably less than 10,000 people in the world could even buy that, like are even capable of buying that and having money to still like live. I'm sure there's people whose net worths are like 400 million, but they would never buy a piece of art for 150 million. So it's like, I guess the question I'm asking is one of those 10,000 or less people in the next 5 months likely to be so enamored with a piece of art that they would pay that much for it?
That's what's kind of cool about prediction markets is you are right. There's probably 10,000 people, I would say even less, that have the money in the world to buy a $150 million art piece. But now there's billions of people that can take active positions in the market on that art piece and have some sort of skin in the game about this $150 million art, even it's as simple as laying a $20 bet on the action of whether or not it will sell. So I think that's cool. So let me wrap it up by asking you this, getting back to the original question.
Yes.
Will Banksy create another mural by December 31st, 2026? Yes or no?
I'm gonna go with yes, and the reason is that I don't think England's gonna win the World Cup. I think he's gonna be pissed. He's gonna be sober. He's gonna be angry, and he's gonna create. I bet it'll be his best work yet.
August, September, look for a new angry Banksy mural somewhere popping up around the world. I like that.
And whoever eliminated them, expect it to be pretty negative towards the government of that country.
Yeah, possibly on the side of the building in that country. It's just,
Oh, yeah.
like he usually paints like the little girl holding the balloons. He's just going to paint like a young kid taking a piss on the side of a building in whatever country eliminates London. That's the new Banksy. You heard it here first. Mark it 100%.
Just a child taking a dump in an alley wall in Ecuador.
Perfect.